down begin. Raze back live again. Pop culture, entertainment, of course, the hot topics. Traveling somewhere in the tropics. Usually preserved for smoke show panels, $1 million plays. We expanding the channel, they say opinions like assholes. Watch your mouth at all times and don't mess up the cash flow. We live.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Raze back live again on this Friday night live stream. Hit that like button as you guys come in because we have some breaking news. Now, as you guys know, I was at the courthouse earlier today. And during my live stream, a couple of people in my chat was talking about Trump. Yes, President Donald Trump making a statement on the possibility of giving Diddy a pardon. Hit that like button as you guys come in, and thank you everybody for your birthday wishes over the past couple of days and your birthday donations through the Cash App and through the Super Chats. Shout out to Bville Lee, my guy, for sending in that $100 last night. Thank you. He says happy birthday, Raze. Shout out to you, Bville Lee, my guy, Bville Lee, and everybody else who has been donating and over the past couple of days for my birthday. I appreciate all of you guys. Hit the like button. You guys can hear me. Hit that like button. Like I said, we was out there inside Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, today covering the Diddy trial. I got to see Tisa Tells. Like I said, she's taller than I would have expected. But shout out to Tisa Tells, looking good in that black skirt, looking good out there. Rob, aka BK's finest is in the building. He says, "What's up, bro? What kind of BS is this I'm hearing? Shaking my effing head." Hey, listen. Rob, listen. I just report the news. I don't make it. I don't make it. So listen. Now, this is going to be something that a lot of people probably don't want to hear, especially guys that want to bury Diddy. And some people heard enough of the statements and they want to find Diddy guilty. You know what I mean? Guilty as sin. That's lock him away for 50 years, Rob. But I have to come out and with these statements from President Trump from earlier. And now, like I said earlier, we was covering the Diddy trial from Manhattan Live, and there was a great crowd. Thank you guys for pulling up in the chat and stuff. Salute to you guys. And I said, Diddy's defense team had a great day today. They had a great day today because, they were pinning the witness or the victim number 4, Mia, in a corner. They kept questioning her about why would she stay with Diddy as an assistant when she claims that Diddy assaulted her, as you guys let me just say sexual assaulted her. And Brian Steele, who is from Atlanta, he is a big time defense attorney. He nailed her time after time again, asking her why wouldn't she go to the police? Why would she stay making posts on Instagram about how great Diddy is, how Diddy helped her out, wishing Diddy a happy birthday? Why would she do that after the fact, after she says that Diddy assaulted her? Why would you stay in an organization under Diddy for about, I believe, what was it, 2009 to 2017 or so? Why would you stay so long? Well, about 2007. But more than 6 years in the Bad Boy Records organization. Why would you stay? So that's what the Diddy's team was trying to nail her on today and put doubt inside the jury of her testimony of being assaulted, which is horrible. If that really happened to her. But like I said, right now there is no real DNA evidence of that. There's no DNA evidence of that. You're basically going to have to go, if you are on that jury of 12, her word versus his word, meaning Diddy's word, that those events happen or not. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button, or will you be comfortable convicting Diddy without DNA or camera footage type evidence of the like, you know. But hit the like button, though. Hit the like button. We have seen people convicted. I can't say that over and over again without DNA evidence and get convicted on just testimony alone. But he better not be thinking about pardoning that dude. Now, guys, hit the like button. Now, you say that Rob, aka BK's finest. Now, as you guys know, the other day, there was some surprise pardons coming out from the Trump administration, and in which President Trump pardoned the likes of NBA YoungBoy, who is a rapper. NBA YoungBoy gave him a full pardon. Of course, the Todd Christie's, you know, Todd and his wife, and no other than Larry Hoover. Guys, you know Larry Hoover, the former co-founder, or you could say the co-founder of the GD Gangster Disciples out there inside Chicago. He was given a commutation of his sentence to time served. For the federal part, he still has to serve 200 years state. We'll see if the Illinois governor gives him a pardon or commutes his sentence and let him go home. He's about 74 or so, 72 or 74 years old. And we'll see if that. But Trump did his part as far as pardoning a guy like Larry Hoover. And people were asking me during my live stream the other day when this broke, they were like, Raze, do you think Trump will pardon Diddy? Now, I know there is some type of history between Trump and Diddy. I know it. And matter of fact, the Punisher, the escort that testified at the Diddy trial last week, he met Diddy and Cassie for a rendezvous inside the Trump Hotel. That was the Trump Hotel he was in, guys. Hit the like button. And so there is some history between Trump and Diddy, but I just didn't know how good of a friendship they had or whatever. But like I said, we have the comments from Donald Trump officially, because people was in my live stream chat earlier today telling me about the comments. Now, I didn't really want to comment too much on it because I did not see the comments while I was on a live stream. Like I said, we was live a couple of times earlier today at the Diddy trial at the courthouse. And I didn't want to, I didn't know the context of the comments. People were saying what he was saying inside my live chat. But now we have exactly what Donald Trump said. And let me see. Shout out to Anonymous is in the building. He needs to take the stand. Salute to you, Anonymous. Drabanot says, Trump, it's very unfair, very, very unfair. You know, Sunday Night Smoke is in the building. Salute, Smoke. I'll turn on Trump if he pardons this weirdo. Shout out to you, Sunday Night Smoke. Shout out to you. Let Diddy rot in jail forever. So, man, so Sunday Night Smoke, if you was on that jury, you saying let Diddy rot in jail forever. And when people was bringing up the pardon thing the other night, I said, well, you know what? Trump is going to be in his 80s. He doesn't have to run again for president. He likes attention. He loves media attention. So when he's about to leave the presidency in a couple of years, what better way to steal headlines again? You know, what better way to steal headlines, Smoke, than to pardon Diddy? You know, he's going to give around 200 pardons and commutations of sentences anyway. You know, did you see the other YouTuber, Attorney Simone? I didn't see her today. I seen her. I know she was out there. I didn't see her personally, but I know she went live. I think she was out there. She was out there. I didn't run into her, but I did see her yesterday when I was out there. And I sent her a comment. I told her I was out there. I told her that I seen when she was talking to the crazy man that was trying to get into her camera. She told him, hey, I'm on live and this and that. So some crazy dude was up on her. But I did see her yesterday. She looked good still. She was looking good. She was looking good looking young black woman out there. Like I said, we ran into Atisa Tells is out there. Yeah, shout out to you, Drabo Not. You know, let me see. Larry Hoover is still doing 200 years. Yes, Larry Hoover is still doing 200 years state time. But the thing is, we'll see if the Illinois, is going to be some pressure from the Illinois governor to go ahead and follow suit behind the federal pardon of Trump to pardon him for the state. And so the governor of Illinois, who's a Democrat, we'll see if he does it. If not, he's going to have to serve another 200 years if he lives that long. Yeah, I believe Larry Hoover is going to live 200 more years. Nassim Jackson, and that's the question. Oh man, Post War says this is. You mean, is this a b-ball or rap stream? Well, no, this is not a basketball stream. This is a Diddy stream. Pause. This is a Diddy stream. Oh man, this is a Diddy stream. Nah, let me stop playing around. But we're discussing the Trump pardon comments. I mean, I'm gonna read exactly what he said instead of comments in the chat from earlier on. And like I said, Larry Hoover did 52 years. He was in jail since 1973. So some people were saying, go ahead and let him out. He's going to be in his 70s. He is being released from federal prison. He got to do 200 more years in state prison if he lives that long, the full 200 years. Yeah. So DJ Skills, we are going to get into exactly what Trump said in a minute. I just heard your DJing skills yet again. Presidents don't pardon S trafficking, says Larry Toker. Well, hey, get your popcorn ready because now let me see. And shout out to Wiz Milano was in the building. Hit that like button, guys. Like I said, we were live at the Diddy trial earlier on, and thank you for your birthday wishes. I highly appreciate you. Miko says, "I told you, Raze. Hey, like I said the other day, and I said there is a possibility that this can happen, especially after the Larry Hoover federal pardon. It shows that Trump is willing to pardon these, black people, in these type of positions. Now, he pardoned Lil Wayne. He pardoned his first term. He pardoned Kodak Black. And recently, like I said, a couple of days ago, he pardoned NBA Youngboy also, along with the commutation of Larry Hoover. Okay. Says happy birthday, Miko. From Miko, the fake Miko. Let's see. Hoover is not being released because he has state charges too, and the president can't pardon state charges, only federal. Yes, and like I said, I keep mentioning that the governor of Illinois has to issue the pardon. We'll see if he does it. He might. He's in the 70, and I heard that in Chicago or Illinois, they have been releasing older people. They have been releasing older people, and we'll see. I heard a couple of the other co-defendants that went to jail with Larry Hoover. They have been since released from prison. So we'll see. We'll see over the next weeks. If the Illinois governor commutes the sentence to time served and go ahead and releases Larry Hoover. Mark O says, "LOL." LO. Hey, listen. I just report what I see, Mark. You know what I mean? Let's see. Trump will never pardon Diddy, says Akeem. Diddy used to talk greasy about Trump and was campaigning for Joe Biden. Diddy gonna rot. So hit the like button, guys. I'm going to get in. Trump did mention what you just said, Akeem, briefly. So that's why I had to wait to really get into the details before I talked about this, because I wanted to make sure that I seen the Trump comments for myself, so I can get the full context of what he was saying during that interview. I believe he was with Elon Musk, because Elon Musk is leaving the position in the Trump's administration. Let me see. He had a black eye too. I don't know why Elon Musk had a black eye. Somebody punched Elon Musk in the eye. Now he would never admit that, but Elon Musk had a black eye when when he was at the White House, or when he was talking to Trump about leaving, giving his reason why he was leaving the administration. Just the facts. Trump said he will look at the facts and see if Diddy was mistreated. I don't think the government is mistreating Diddy. He's being treated fairly in the court of law. Don't you agree? Says just the facts. Well, now I do know Trump was saying that he's been mistreated himself. Over the years, as he said the federal government was weaponized against him politically, dragging him back and forth into federal courts, and he does not like the courts, obviously. So the S is silent in Illinois, Raze. Oh, Illinois. All right, so Chicago, Illinois. JD, yeah, all right. Thanks for the correction, Illinois. So the Illinois governor may go ahead and follow suit and release Larry Hoover. I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, whipping work. Hallelujah. And we was wolves in the building. Salute you. Only a weirdo will pardon that weirdo. Hey, if you guys call Trump a weirdo, that means that you have it. If you say only a weirdo would pardon a weirdo, well, Diddy might be getting his wish. Now, like I said, I think Diddy's team, his defense team, had a great showing today on their cross-examination, and they're going to go in again on Monday on the Mia, the victim number 4, on Monday. And we was wolves. If I think it's a great possibility that Trump can pardon Diddy. I really do. It was in the back of my head anyway. That he would do that. All right. Yeah. Hey, hey JD, it is what it is. If he pardons them, some people will be mad, some people will celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the Larry Hoover. Some people was kind of mad that he pardoned Larry Hoover, even though he still got to do 200 years in state prison. And but if the shoe fits, all right. Well, let's so the question is, it's highly weird. It's highly weird for a reason. We was wolves. Classic highly weird. But let's get into what the New York Post had to say. It says Trump doesn't rule out pardon for Diddy if convicted of S trafficking. Okay, hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. This breaking news. Um, you know, and it says President Trump shockingly said Friday that he would be open to pardoning Sean Diddy Combs, currently on trial in Manhattan for alleged S trafficking and other crimes. Of course, the other crimes are racketeering, guys. The Rico, racketeering, the Rico, in which some people is saying that he probably shouldn't even be on trial for Rico. Those are the wrong charges. He probably should just be on trial for assault and maybe S assault, right? But now Trump said nobody's asked. Okay, nobody has asked me, but I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking Trump, age 78, said during an Oval Office press conference with Elon Musk. Okay, it says Sean Diddy Combs, age 55, was arrested in September and has been held without bail on federal charges. And Trump said, first of all, I'd like to look at what's happening. And I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage, Trump said. And you guys know Trump loves coverage. Trump loves making headlines, guys. Hit the like button as you guys come in. Trump loves making headlines. Trump goes on to say, I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years regarding Diddy, says Trump. So Trump says, I haven't seen Diddy in years. I haven't spoken to Diddy in years. Now, this is key. This is key, guys. Hit the like button. Anybody new to the channel, and thank you all of the new subscribers that have been subscribing over the past couple of days as we covered the Diddy trial live. Trump says, Diddy used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up from what I read. Okay. So then he goes on to say, I don't know. Diddy didn't tell me that, but I read some little bit nasty statement. So he's saying, Trump said, look, Diddy used to like him before he ran for politics. All right. Before Trump ran for president of the U.S. of A. as a Republican, Diddy used to like him. These are the statements of President Trump. Then he said after he started running for politics, the relationship got busted up from what I read. That's what Trump said. Then he says, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I read some little bit nasty statements. So he read in posts and in the news that Diddy made some nasty statements about Donald Trump as he was running for president or after he became president the first time. So now, guys, right there, those statements by Trump, and he goes on a little bit more, those statements right there gives you a little pause about him giving him the pardon, because now you know Trump has an ego. Trump don't like when people talk negative about him. We all know that. We've seen him as president for years, right? But he said Diddy didn't tell him personally, but he said he read some negative, nasty statements about him being made when he became president or when he was running for president. Hit the like button, though, guys. Hit the like button. Let's go on to further comments that Trump said. Now, Trump concluded, I would certainly look at the facts if I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me. It wouldn't have any impact on me. Do y'all guys believe President Donald Trump? He said, look, I would certainly look into all the facts of the matter of Diddy if I think somebody was being mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me. So now he comes back and says, look, it really doesn't matter if they like me or don't like me. So he's pretty much saying, look, I know I read some nasty statements made by Diddy towards me as I was running for president or after I became president of the USA. But according to Trump, that won't have an effect or impact on his decision making. Do y'all guys believe President Trump, guys? That's the question right now. Will Trump pardon Diddy if Diddy was convicted? If Diddy was convicted on these crimes, would President Trump pardon him? And these are the exact quotes right here from Trump right there. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Free the Diddler says, who's this? Oh, all right, Charlie. And all right, and the guys, hit that like button as you guys come in. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. Hit that like button. Diddy and Trump look buddy in the photo, says Bruce M2. Now, I think that was before. Well, yeah, I think that those photos were kind of before Trump started to run for office, though. That's the issue. And you know, Trump did say that, hey, I read that there were nasty comments made about me coming from Diddy. Now, obviously, that means Diddy did not support Trump's candidacy for president as a Republican. That's, you know, but Trump did follow up and say, hey, it really don't matter, because if he feel that anyone is being mistreated in the courts, that, you know, then he will look at it and he will give the pardon or commutation. Now, as you guys seen out here in New York City, Mayor Adams was granted a, let's just say, not a pardon, but they dropped the charges, the federal charges against Mayor Adams. He was about to go to trial. Oh no, he was looking at about 20 years or so in prison, as you guys know, because of his turkey deals. You know, Turkey, not Turkey as far as food. You know what I'm saying? Not that. Turkey, the country of Turkey. You're not supposed to take donations from outside you know, the USA when you're running for office, and he did not report it, and all types of stuff with that. And Trump had his Justice Department drop the charges against Mayor Adams, because Mayor Adams, a Democrat, he is a Democrat, said he will cooperate with the migrant crises and help, I guess, ICE agents, round up, the illegal migrants, out here. Y'all guys know the stories of that. So let me see. The oxtails are too salty in DR. That's random, Highlander. That's random. That's a random comment. That's a random comment. Too salty. Raze, you New Yorkers stick together. Jesse Short says, hey, let's go Knicks. But I don't know exactly what you mean. But free Diddy. Listen. People were driving by today as I was live from the courtroom or the courthouse. They were saying free Diddy. Some people were saying free Diddy. Some people were saying lock him up. So we had multiple people driving by, seeing all the media out there making statements, driving past the courthouse earlier today. The Jamaican spot across from Casa Valeria has better oxtail. So this is y'all making me hungry. Keep talking about oxtail like that. All right. So, from what I read, will Trump pardon Diddy? Will he pardon Diddy? He's not guilty to this. Is all lies from the leftist media, says Brittany. Now, I would say this, guys. If Trump was to pardon Diddy, and Trump knows this, Trump would forget all about the nasty statements. You know why? Because if Trump was to ever pardon Diddy, guess what? Diddy is going to go on TV, go on social media, and praise Trump. And Trump loves that. So it kind of don't really matter about the past. Trump will be praised by Diddy. He will be praised. And Trump has to know that we've seen NBA Youngboy who was pardoned. He just went to social media and praised Trump for giving him the pardon. So and I know Trump loves his ego getting fed. And I'm saying that if he pulls this off and pardons Diddy, Trump shouldn't worry about the old statements that Diddy may have made about him. Because Diddy is going to praise Trump and thank him. And Trump loves that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. The fingerprints expert on Cuddy's car should have never testified and should be a mistrial. That is the way Trump can pardon him. The expert used hearsay, not facts. Oh, Highlander, that's a good point right there. Kid Cudi, the Diddy's team was asking for a mistrial the other day. The judge denied it. The judge just told the jury to disregard the testimony about the fingerprints because those fingerprints went missing, courtesy of LAPD. Somehow, a few months after they took those fingerprints that were inside Kid Cudi's mansion, who he said that Diddy broke into, they was going to match the DNA, the fingerprints with the DNA that was found on the Molotov cocktail bottle that burned down Kid Cudi's car. But somehow those fingerprints, they didn't go missing, but they were destroyed by the LAPD. And Diddy's team was calling for a mistrial because of that, Highlander. So that's a good point right there, Highlander. That's a good point right there. That is a good point. But I got to say this. Diddy has to be happy right now because, like I said, his defense team had a good day today, cross-examining victim number 4, which is Mia, her name. She'll be back on the stand on Monday, going through more torture by Diddy's defense team, which a lot of people did not like. People did not like Diddy's defense team going in on her like that, but that's their job. They're getting paid a lot of money to defend Diddy. Let me see. And let me see. Jeremy Leonardo was in the building. Salute you, Jeremy Leonardo. Hit that like button. Bruce M2 says, sounds like Trump is distancing himself. Interesting. Do y'all get the idea that Trump was distancing himself with those comments? Interesting. Interesting. Jeremy Leonardo was in the building. Salute to you, Jeremy Leonardo, and thank you. Like I said, thank you for your birthday wishes. I highly appreciate you guys and your donations coming through. We'll be back live from the Diddy courtroom on Monday. We've been doing well out there, so we'll go back out there. Maybe we might have a game 7 also on Monday night. So if the Knicks can pull it out on Saturday in Indiana. Kanye West vouched for Larry Hoover, and Ye will vouch for Diddy. So he will get pardoned. Trump loves Ye. And hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. He says Trump loves Ye, and Kanye will vouch for Diddy. Who will be some of the people that the defense of Diddy calls to testify in favor of Diddy? We have only seen the prosecutors' key witnesses testify so far. Who will Diddy's team call to testify on behalf of Diddy? What friends does Diddy have in the industry who will be willing to go on that stand to testify in favor of Puff Daddy? Who is going to do it? Was the turkey money diverted to the Trump fund? Oh, man. Should I go to Vietnam or Philippines? Well, listen, I haven't been to neither. So, look at some of the videos on YouTube, look at some of your favorite YouTubers, or even just put it in there, and you make your decision on what you are liking from the videos you see, Larry, because I haven't been to neither one as of yet. Yeah, but Trump took a plane as a gift, so Adams is not the problem, says Big Rob. Oh, you talk about the from the Saudis? Well, it was a problem. It was a problem. Big Rob, they was making it a problem, and Mayor Adams was looking at a lot of time. They had him dead to rights with that stuff, and he was looking at a lot of time. Mayor Adams played his cards right and got on Trump's side very, very quickly. He knew he can use the migrant crises as a way to get buddy with Trump and cooperate with ICE agents out here inside New York. And he said all the right things, and Trump had his Justice Department drop those federal charges against him. That was a smart play by Mayor Adams. A lot of people don't like what Mayor Adams did with that, but hey, he knew he was looking at some years inside federal prison. So he played his cards right and curried the favor of Donald Trump. Diddy's praise ain't worth blank anyway nowadays. Okay. Trump wants the hood vote. Trump is strategic. Raze. And well, he's not running again. That's the thing. He can't run again. He's not allowed to run again, Highlander. So really, I think if he were to do that, it would just be still headlines. He's going to be in his 80s. He would have nothing to lose by giving Diddy the pardon, right? There's nothing to lose by him giving Diddy a pardon. I mean, at that point, he's going to be in his 80s, right? I mean, what does he have to lose? He's not running again. He can't run again unless they change the Constitution for him to be able to run again, for a third term. Let's see. DJ Skill says Diddy's reputation is tarnished. Who's going to want to be his circle or be in his circle or have him in theirs if he goes free? He had dirt on his name since City College incident. Yes, I do know about that City College incident. Hit that like button, guys. Do y'all believe it is possible that Donald J. Trump will pardon Diddy? I think it's more possible than ever after the pardon of Larry Hoover. I think it is more possible than ever. And Trump says it is getting a lot of headlines. He knows those headlines. This is pretty much the trial of the century right now. OJ's was in a 20th century. This is 21st century now. So this is the trial of the century. And when they go and release the verdicts, that is going to be highly watched. Those verdicts. Now, there's no cameras in the courtroom, but there's going to be a lot of media out there. There's a lot of media out there already. I have a friend that works inside that court building. He said this is the biggest trial he's seen since he's been working there. He's been working there for years. You know, he's been working there for years, right? And he said this is the biggest, you know. Yes, back in my mama's basement, Jack Black. Yes, reporting live. Trump will commute the prison sentence for most and not pardon. Still get set free, but the person record still stays with the person during commutation for their lifetime. Yes, you're right, Trent S. But I guess, you know, I mean, you would rather the full pardon, of course, because you get all of that stuff erased. But hey, you're still free. And if anybody's been locked up in prison, at that point, you would take the commutation, because you would just take it because you're getting out from behind bars. You're like, I'm out of here. Thanks, Trump. Thank you. You know, you could have gave me the full pardon, but hey, you know, beggars can't be choosers. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Trump. Thank the Lord, Trump. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, in that case, you know, both worked out for the person that's behind bars, is looking at another 10 years or so behind bars to get a commutation for time served. You know, hit the like button, guys. We were live out there inside the Diddy courthouse earlier today. T. Williams says, what's the news? Yeah, the news of the day is right now, or tonight, is that, you know, Diddy has to be happy about Trump even making a statement. I know somebody in the chat said it was inappropriate for Trump to make a statement on the trial, but, you know, but T. Williams, yeah, there's a possibility that Trump may pardon Diddy, you know, if he sees anyone being treated unfairly by the courts. Now, he said Diddy did used to like him in the past, right? Until he read, when he started running for office of the presidency, Diddy made some nasty statements. Now, he said Diddy didn't tell him that personally, but he said he read some nasty statements coming out of Diddy's mouth against him. But then he said, look, it does not matter. I will give pardons and I will commute a sentence for anyone that he feels has been mistreated unfairly by the courts. And that it does not matter how a person may feel about Donald Trump personally. So that was his statements earlier on today. TF. I mean, well, not TF, but T. Williams. But TF is in the chat. Trump versus Obama for the third time presidency. Oh, that would be crazy, right? If they allowed that. Trump versus Obama for the third term. So Obama's third term going against Trump's third term. Man, that would be a mega battle, right? That would be a mega battle, TF. Can y'all imagine that if they allow, if the Constitution, let's say if Congress allowed Trump and Obama to run for third terms, Trump versus Obama. Wow, that would be a mega showdown. Woo! That would be a mega showdown. That would be a mega showdown. Yeah. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button. Covering the Diddy trial, guys. And like I said, some people just don't, you know, like the fact that it's a possibility that Diddy may not spend a lot of time in prison. And this news I'm seeing, you know, like I said, he had a good day in court today. I got to give credit where credit is due. His defense team came through today. I'm seeing, and he has to be jumping for joy reading these Trump comments, because like I said, even if Trump knows that Diddy will make great comments about him once he's pardoned or commuted. You know what I'm saying? So if it's all about Trump's ego and nasty statements that Diddy may have made that he's seen, well, if you give Diddy that pardon, Diddy is going to make a lot of great statements. Matter of fact, Diddy's kids is going to make great statements about you. You know what I'm saying? Diddy fans will make great statements about you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big possibility, you know, that Trump will pardon Diddy. Uh, Ryan Messenger says, nah, something. All right. Nah, something like this never leaves. It may quiet down, but it will never go away. He has had more influence in his life than most and deserves to deal with the consequences if found guilty, says Ryan Messenger. Do you guys believe Diddy should be allowed to be pardoned? Well, really, we can't really, well, he is allowed to be pardoned, so you can't stop it. Can't stop him from being pardoned. Um, but let me say, will you guys be disgusted if Trump does pardon Diddy? That's the more the question. Will you guys be disgusted? I know some of you guys will be. Diddy got pardoned? No, not yet. He has not been pardoned yet. And technically, guys, Trump could pardon Diddy right now without a conviction. People think that you only could pardon somebody the after they are convicted, but no. Trump could pardon Diddy right now during the trial. I don't think he would do that at all. I think he would wait until he's convicted and then right before he leaves office, do a pardon dump like the presidents normally do, pardon like 200 people, and Diddy will be inside that pardon list. You could preemptively pardon somebody also, like Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci was pardoned by Biden right before Biden left preemptively, and he wasn't even brung up on charges. So you can preemptively pardon somebody, and Trump can pardon Diddy right now. If Trump wanted to have some fun and really, grab headlines, he could say, hey, you know what, trial over. If y'all want to see, if Trump really wanted to play dictator, say, you know what, hey, y'all talk about Putin. Well, I can use my pardon powers and play dictator right now. I pardon Diddy. Y'all don't believe it? Google it, research it. Trump could end this trial right now. Trump has the power to end this trial right now. Now, I don't think he would do it in a million years. I don't think he's going to do that at all. He's not going to do that. He's not going to pardon Diddy before the trial even ends. But, technically, by the letter of the law, he can. Anonymous says, he should have just said he can't comment on an active case. His comments conclude influence. All right, his comments could influence the jury. Oh, wait, look at that, Anonymous. That's a great point. I agree with Anonymous. That is a great point, Anonymous. It could influence the jury. Now, of course, the jury has been ordered not to read anything, not to listen to anything. But come on, obviously they that stuff leaks out. So, the jury is hearing this stuff. And hey, that's that's Trump for you. Trump is going to speak his mind. Trump has no filter. And yeah. I kind of knew Trump was going to insert himself in this one day. He was asked the question, but you're right. He could have played it that way, Anonymous, and just said he can't comment. He would like not to comment on an active federal case. He could have went that route, but that's Trump. Trump isn't. You seen his MO. He's not gonna do. That's just what he does. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. We are asking the question. And I think I'm gonna drop the link for a little bit. I'm gonna drop the link if you guys want to come up and give a comment. Keep it clean though. Don't be acting all crazy up here. Saying conspiracy theories and stuff like that. I'll kick you off. It pretty much leaves the person being able to be sued civilly for commutation, with preponderance of evidence being the standard in a civil trial, says Trent S. Pam Gator, Trump was falsely accused by E. Jean Carroll. Diddy hasn't been. I'm voting Trump, says. Anybody new to the channel, hit the like button. Thank you all the new subs over the past 2 days of us going live from the courthouse. We'll be back live at the courthouse on Monday. Also, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Salute to Angel in My Life channel. Shout out to you, Angel in My Life. How are you doing? Hope all is well with you and your channel. I'm going to check out your channel, Angel in My Life channel. Matter of fact, I did check out your channel. I'm subscribed to your channel. Shout out to you, Angel in My Life. Yeah. Shout out to you. No, we need someone with new, fresh ideas. So you said no Obama for third term and no Trump for third term, says T. Williams. Okay, so you don't want to see that battle of the third terms, if that were to be allowed to be happen again by the Congress. Mm-hmm. Ryan Messenger says America would rage at a pardon if he did, which I don't think he will. Interesting. Like I said, I don't think he would do it now while he's in office. He will wait until he's about to leave office. You know what I'm saying? After the trial is done, after all of this stuff is out of people's heads, and then he'll just casually add Diddy to the pardon of the list of 200 or probably 300 other people he would pardon on his way out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's not going to have to run again. He's going to be in his 80s. Trump don't need Diddy statements, LOL. If Diddy is released, he's going to be blackballed from mainstream media. Yeah, he'll probably be blackballed from mainstream media, but like I said, I think there is a huge possibility of Trump pardoning him. I really do. I really do believe that. And y'all gonna come back in the next couple of years and be like, you know what? That damn Raze was Nostradamus. Well, not really Nostradamus because other people are saying the same thing. It's a high percentage. It's more than 50% chance. I think I'm gonna say 60% chance that Trump pardons Diddy. There's a 60% chance that Trump pardons Diddy. I'm putting it at 65%. And hit the like button, guys. What is some of you guys' percentage of Trump pardoning Diddy? Put it in the chat. 1%, 2%. I would say I say 60%. 60% chance that Trump pardons Diddy on his way out of office. Now, I know a lot of people are not going to be happy to hear that, but don't shoot the messenger. I'm just I'm reading over what I'm seeing. I'm trying to be as fair as possible, and I'm reading over what I'm looking at. And it seems to me that that's where we are headed. You know what I'm saying? In the event that Diddy is convicted, he is not even convicted yet, 100%. So and matter of fact, guys, and stay right there, guys. Let me see. Now, this was courtesy of Fox News, right? This was courtesy of Fox News the other day, and this was a former prosecutor. A former prosecutor who has been saying that there is a strong possibility that Diddy may walk.
John Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial will resume tomorrow as a third personal assistant is set to take the stand. Over the first couple of weeks, jury members heard explosive testimony detailing the alleged physical and emotional abuse Combs caused. Let's bring in David Gelman, former prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney. David, welcome.
Hey, Mike, good to be here.
So in week 2 of testimony, jurors heard from a dozen witnesses as prosecutors try to prove sex trafficking and racketeering. What are your expectations when court resumes tomorrow?
It's going to be really interesting tomorrow when Diddy's third or fourth assistant takes a stand, and she's going to actually corroborate Kid Cudi's testimony from last week, where he said that Diddy and another associate of his bombed his Porsche years ago at his house. Now, you have to have corroboration about that because nobody can put Diddy there. And in fact, nobody even can say Diddy's the actual one who did it. But if they can say that Diddy or an associate of his did it, then you may have a racketeering charge there. Because right now, as it stands, Mike, nothing, and I mean nothing, is sticking to Diddy.
Diddy's lawyers are trying to make the case that his escapades do not amount to federal crimes. How difficult is that argument?
I think they're doing a fantastic job, honestly. Look, everybody has said, and Diddy's lawyers even said it in their opening statement, Diddy is not a good guy. There's a lot of domestic violence that occurred between him and Cassie in their relationship. However, what we've heard so far from the testimony of Cassie and the other individuals does not amount to the federal charges that he's being charged with right now. I'm not going to say anything that we heard is very good because it's all horrific. However, the state or the government in this particular instance needs to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he conspired to racketeer to sex traffic, and to promote prostitution. So far, they're falling way behind in this. And I know there's a lot more to go in this trial because they're saying it's going to be about 8 weeks. But the government really better step on the gas because they don't have a lot more time to go.
So the play seems to be maybe admit to a state crime that avoids prison time. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Look, again, you're hearing about all this domestic violence, but all of that has nothing to do with what Diddy is charged with. There's a possibility, and I'm saying a very strong possibility right now, that Diddy could walk, that he could be spending 4th of July at home having a barbecue.
Interesting. David Gelman, thank you very much for your analysis today.
You just heard former prosecutor on Fox News the other day says strong possibility that Diddy could walk and be home having a barbecue by the 4th of July. Hit the like button, guys. Hit that like button. Man, the past few days have been good news for Diddy, guys. I just got to call it like I see it. As far as legally, with these Trump statements right now, that is some hope right there. Diddy has hope. So even if he is convicted, he has hope that he will be granted a pardon by the president of the USA. And also, this guy, that prosecutor, former prosecutor, said, look, they are not proving Rico. They are proving that Diddy was a bad guy, abusive guy. But that is not the charges that Diddy has been brung up on. And he's saying the state better hurry up and bring forth the evidence of classic Rico, or else strong possibility that Sean Diddy Combs could walk a free man. Wow. Let me get to some of y'all comments on that. The judge probably went to his party, says Lyric. Hit the like button, guys. Rich people never face consequences when they know powerful people. Hey, let me. T. Williams said there's 75% chance that Trump would pardon Diddy. TF said 99% chance Diddy going to pay for it if the government doesn't seize all his assets. 80% chance says that he would get pardoned. Diddy walking, no pardon necessary. So you're saying, look, no, Diddy is going to walk. There's no need for Trump to pardon him. Diddy is going to walk. The federal government basically TF is saying the federal government wants to seize all Diddy's assets. And I've heard, Diddy a couple of weeks ago was trying to hide his assets and put them in other people's names and stuff like that. I mean, that was a report I heard. This was like a couple of weeks ago as the trial was starting. Detroit Coalition says, remember when our presidents wouldn't comment on active cases in respect to the law? I'm only 44, but I do. So obviously, Detroit Coalition did not appreciate Donald J. Trump making those comments on the active case. Shout out to everybody watching. Hit the like button. Any new people to the channel? We're trying to, we are asking the question: will Trump pardon Diddy? Let me see. Diddy doesn't have fans anymore. Oh, when I said even Diddy fans will praise Trump. Yeah, well, yeah. Diddy doesn't have but like I said, at that court, I mean, down at that court, some people saying free Diddy and this and that. I don't know if they're being paid though, but you get some people coming through, leaving the courtroom saying free Diddy, and But sometimes it's not. Sometimes people that say free Diddy, or sometimes people are not really fans of Diddy or the person that's being charged or might be facing federal time. Some people are just anti-government, anti-legal system. They think it's a corrupt legal system. So even if they're not like huge fans of a Diddy, they might be rooting for him to get off. Y'all guys know what I mean, right? They might be looking at it, well, these charges, and this is not really a Rico case, so why are they charging him with Rico? So they're probably hoping that he gets off because of that. Because if certain people really believe that this is not a Rico case or racketeering case, it shouldn't be that, and he actually is convicted of it, that can set a bad precedent for a lot of people, if Diddy gets convicted of racketeering and Rico, when a lot of people are saying this is not really a Rico case, it shouldn't be a Rico case, that sets a bad precedent, and future people can suffer the same fate. So I think that's more. So I think a lot of times the people that's rooting for Diddy, sometimes it's not really rooting for Diddy, it's just rooting for the man being about to get sent to prison. Um, they're rooting for his release because they don't agree with the type of charges or whatnot. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes, I think that's what's going on a lot. After watching, anti-government, anti certain laws. They don't think should be laws. Over prosecution of American citizens, stuff like that. Trent. T. Williams says the YSL and Young Thug look more like Rico to me. Yeah, because they're trying to say that Bad Boy Records was a criminal organization and that Diddy's security guards and staff were involved in a criminal enterprise, which would mean Rico. Now, some people is not really buying that. Some people, but I can see how they probably can say that if Diddy's security staff was holding the guns and let's say kidnapping, if they believe that person that said she was kidnapped for 5 days and gave a lie detector tests over the stolen jewelry given by Jacob the jeweler, stuff like that, I can see a little bit where the government is trying to push this. Now, some people say that's a stretch, but the government, they can do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? And once they make something established as Rico, and then if they actually win this case against Diddy of getting a conviction with racketeering and Rico, because Bad Boy Records is a criminal enterprise, well, then that sets another precedent. You know what I mean? So some people want Diddy to go free because of that. They don't want that precedent being set. You get what I'm saying? People think that Rico is too vague and it allows the government to get an easier prosecution or easier conviction, and some people don't like that. So that's the reason a lot of people are rooting for Diddy to beat these charges. Maybe they were saying Diddy probably should have been charged with assault like Harvey Weinstein, because they got Harvey Weinstein on that, New York State, 23 years. But like I said, the victim that testified today, she was subpoenaed. She didn't really want to be there. So if the state or the feds had to rely on her to file criminal charges against Diddy and get Diddy on assault, she wouldn't cooperate, I don't think. You know what I mean? She wouldn't cooperate, so they wouldn't be able to get no conviction. Now she's testifying about the assault allegedly, but he's not charged with assault. He's charged with trafficking, but not assault. So, but a lot of people do think they could have gotten a conviction on Diddy if he were to be charged with assault by having the girl cooperate and agree to have the charges and pressed against them. You know what I'm saying? But the government wants the Rico. They want Rico. They want racketeering, conspiracy. That's what they want. They want the big one, the big boy. So it's going to be up to those 12 jurors to decide if they want to help the government along to convict them. You know what I mean? He's facing up to life in prison. Anti-establishment. Yes, that's another one. That's another word. Anti-government, anti-establishment. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. You know who needs a preemptive pardon? That Carl Anthony kid who defended himself. Carl Anthony kid. I thought you were gonna say Carl Anthony Towns. I was like, "What? Are you bringing in the Knicks again?" But Carl Anthony kid who defended. I gotta look at that case again and see. Trent S is in the building. Feds have a 97% conviction rate on the federal level. The attorney general usually has plenty of evidence for conviction, no matter who it is. Yes. Now, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence. There's a lot of people testifying and statements. They do have some text messages and stuff like that. And the jurors can draw conclusions, put two and two together using their common sense. And they can convict him if they want to of federal racketeering if the jurors deem that Bad Boy Records is a criminal enterprise. See, that's what the feds says that Bad Boy Records is a criminal enterprise. But with the testimony that has been going on in that courtroom over the past 2 weeks, do those 12 jurors agree? And that's all that really matters. Do all 12 jurors, you got to have all 12 agree, and not one of them say they disagree, that Diddy was running a criminal enterprise at Bad Boy Records, and that he did conspiracy, and that that falls under the Rico racketeering. And shout out to everybody watching. And let me because for some people that don't know, yeah, guys don't know exactly what falls underneath Rico. And here is some of the stuff that falls underneath Rico. Crimes that are covered by the Rico Act includes arson, which they were trying to prove hard. The Kid Cudi's car. Kid Cudi's car was burnt by or was instructed to be burned by Diddy thugs. Arson, bribery, counterfeiting, distribution of a controlled substance, embezzlement, extortion, gambling, homicide, of course, kidnapping, mail fraud, money laundering, robbery, wire fraud, and witness tampering. So that's what's covered underneath Rico right there, guys. And that in the Rico Act is what brought down the mafia in the 80s, in the early 90s. Out here inside New York, Rudy Giuliani was the Attorney General, New York Attorney General. And that's what they are using against Diddy. Now, some people say that those charges are kind of inappropriate in this sense for Diddy. Maybe he should have just been charged with assault, battery, stuff like that. And maybe get easier to get a conviction. But like you said, 97% conviction rate. Do y'all guys really see the feds walking away empty-handed? Or do you guys see maybe a plea deal, a plea out? Like I said earlier, the feds, according to reports, offered a plea deal before the trial even started, a few days before the trial started. And it is reported that that plea deal would have been for 15 years in the slammer. And Diddy turned that plea deal down, All right, yeah, Giuliani was the prosecutor bringing Rico to the forefront, with John Gotti being the largest recipient of its God. Yeah. So do you believe Diddy should fall under those charges like a John Gotti did? Do you believe that Bad Boy Records is similar to what they got John Gotti on? Well, like we said, like T. Williams said, YSL and out there, the slimes out there, they call them the out there in Atlanta. T. Williams said YSL seemed like more of a case for Rico than Diddy, the Diddy case, right? But like I said, if they win this case against Diddy, they are setting a precedent. You know what I mean? So they're making it even more vague to where they can bring up Rico charges on stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Trent S says, no way, I think it falls under the Rico predicates. So you says, no way it should fall under the Rico. Carlos says, reason why the conviction rate is over 90% because the defendant accepts the guilty plea deal before going to trial. Yeah, okay, before going to trial or while in trial, they just say, all right, we offer you the plea. Okay, Carlos. Okay, Carlos, thank you for that, Carlos. Thank you for that, Carlos. We just going over some stuff and seeing will Diddy get that pardon, You know, will he get that pardon? And like I said, I played for you guys that Fox News, you know, yeah, well, let me see. Let me go to some of your chats. Hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Anybody new to the channel, we will be back live at the Diddy trial on Monday. See what new surprise witnesses. Now, Mia is still going to be testifying because you know, are being questioned, cross-examined by the Diddy's team. They have been brutal on her. They have been brutal on her, guys. So they are going to continue to be brutal on Monday, more than likely, and we shall see how she handles herself on that stand. Now, the jury might say, you know what? I don't like the way Diddy's team has been questioning her, this alleged victim, and they might leave a negative connotation on the jury's mind. So it could backfire, you know, so on Diddy's team. So, but I think Diddy's team had a good day today overall with their cross-examination of victim number 4, who they call Mia. That's not her real name. The jury knows her real name, but the public does not know her real name. And also this news about Trump maybe pardoning Diddy. You know, I think, like I said, I think it's a 60% chance he will eventually, you know. But also confidential informants play a huge part for the federal witnesses, aka rats. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Let me see. You got to have that long paper to beat the feds. Most defendants don't have it. Most defendants don't have that long paper to defeat the feds, says T. Williams. And a lot of people will agree with you. A lot of people would agree with you, T. Williams, that most people don't have that long paper to defeat the feds, you know? And that's why a lot of people go ahead and plead out. You know, who knows? Maybe Diddy will plead out before the end of this trial. You know, who knows? Maybe it won't go to the jury at the Raw and he'll just accept a plea deal. You know, depending on what other witnesses is being called. Now, do y'all guys believe Diddy should be called to the stand to testify in the defense? I don't know who the defense team has planning on to come in that courtroom to testify on that behalf of Diddy. I don't know who they have lined up. It will be interesting to see, though, who will be called to testify on the behalf, give personal statements on maybe Diddy helped us out, Diddy helped us, Diddy gave us money when we needed it, Diddy this, Diddy that. So you know the defense have to have somebody that's willing to go to bat for Diddy. Now, I don't know if anybody from those Rico parties is going to arrive in that courtroom to testify for the Diddy defense, but that remains to be seen. That remains to be seen. If anybody that called themselves a Diddy friend over the years would enter that courtroom and testify to help Diddy out. That would be telling to see if anybody, any of those celebrities that partied with Diddy over the years would go in there to testify on his behalf. You know? Hit that like button, though, guys. Hit that like button. And like I said, I'm going to, let me see if there has been any updates since that the Diddy trial ended earlier today. In the meantime, go ahead and look at this once again. This guy, Diddy, the new OJ, and now this is the trial of the century, the 21st century. You know, Diddy, OJ's with the trial of the 20th century. Givers, takers. Diddy, the new OJ. So you're saying he's gonna get off? You're saying, He's gonna get off. Now take a look at this. Like I said, the federal prosecutor saying that there's a strong possibility that Diddy could walk. Suge Knight said the same thing, that Diddy should walk also away from these charges and be freed.
On Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial will resume tomorrow as a third personal assistant is set to take the stand. Over the first couple of weeks, jury members heard explosive testimony detailing the alleged physical and emotional abuse Combs caused. Let's bring in David Gelman, former prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney. David, welcome.
Hey, Mike, good to be here.
So in week 2 of testimony, jurors heard from a dozen witnesses as prosecutors try to prove sex trafficking and racketeering. What are your expectations when court resumes tomorrow?
It's going to be really interesting tomorrow when Diddy's third or fourth assistant takes a stand, and she's going to actually corroborate Kid Cudi's testimony from last week, where he said that Diddy and another associate of his bombed his Porsche years ago at his house. Now, you have to have corroboration about that because nobody can put Diddy there. And in fact, nobody even can say Diddy's the actual one who did it. But if they can say that Diddy or an associate of his did it, then you may have a racketeering charge there. Because right now, as it stands, Mike, nothing, and I mean nothing, is sticking to Diddy.
Diddy's lawyers are trying to make the case that his escapades do not amount to federal crimes. How difficult is that argument?
I think they're doing a fantastic job, honestly. Look, everybody has said, and Diddy's lawyers even said it in their opening statement, Diddy is not a good guy. There's a lot of domestic violence that occurred between him and Cassie in their relationship. However, what we've heard so far from the testimony of Cassie and the other individuals does not amount to the federal charges that he's being charged with right now. I'm not going to say anything that we heard is very good because it's all horrific. However, the state or the government in this particular instance needs to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he conspired to racketeer, to sex traffic, and to promote prostitution. So far, they're falling way behind in this. And I know there's a lot more to go in this trial because they're saying it's going to be about 8 weeks. But the government really better step on the gas because they don't have a lot more time to go.
So the play seems to be maybe admit to a state crime that avoids prison time. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Look, again, you're hearing about all this domestic violence, but all of that has nothing to do with what Diddy is charged with. There's a possibility, and I'm saying a very strong possibility right now, that Diddy could walk, that he could be spending 4th of July at home having a barbecue.
Interesting. David Gelman, thank you very much for your analysis today.
Strong possibility that Diddy could walk spending 4th of July at a barbecue. That was a former prosecutor. I'd like to hear from the experts in this case, people that know law. And you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, he said strong possibility Diddy could walk and be home by the 4th of July, cooking out, enjoying the fireworks. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Get that like button. Let me see. Gotta have that long money to beat the feds. I'm sure that some have proffered to cover their own butts or Queen for a Day rule. Yeah, and one of the Diddy former workers said he's going to plead the 5th when he was on the stand last week, and he said, "Look, I'm pleading the 5th because I don't want to, incriminate myself and this and that." So the judge not the judge, but the prosecutor said, "Okay, hey, we're prepared to give you immunity." So that was already planned. So they gave him immunity on the site inside that courtroom. And the judge signed off on it. And he testified. He spilled the beans, about I guess him carrying Diddy's gun and buying Diddy drugs for him to use, and he witnessed Diddy beating up Cassie and stuff like that. So yeah, but proffered or like you say, clean for a day or straight up immunity. Some of these witnesses, which some may say that they are unindicted co-conspirators, and that they are part of the Rico, which make up the criminal enterprise that the Fed says Diddy was running at Bad Boy Records, but they are just flipping and they are being, proffered and given immunity to testify, but they are not being indicted, right? Rico was in the building. What up, Rico? Rico said, so he must think Diddy, Black Blank is guilty. Right? Offer a pardon unless you think he will lose. Yeah, well, like I said, they asked Trump straight out, and he said, look, Diddy used to be cool with me. Basically, I'm just, paraphrasing. And that Diddy kind of like, we weren't that cool once I started running for president of the United States. And Trump said he read somewhere that Diddy made some nasty statements about him. But he said Diddy never told him personally about the nasty statements. And he said that if he feel that Diddy is being, or he said that if he feel that anyone is being treated unfairly in the justice system, that he would be willing to pardon. And that it does not matter about past comments that, or if a person likes him or not, he will grant the pardon or commutation. So that's basically, I'll just paraphrase what Trump said. I think that is a stretch saying Diddy might be home for July 4th. I think that's a narrative spun for media purposes and viewing numbers, says Trent S. Yeah, it's now I got some breaking news from Suge Knight. Now, Suge Knight also, guys, Suge Knight. Now, I was just asking you guys, will Diddy testify in his own defense, and what witnesses will the defense call to testify in Diddy's defense? And will anyone volunteer to come testify on the behalf of Diddy, any celebrities, whatever? But Suge Knight thinks Diddy should testify. This is according to CNN.com. CNN's Laura Croce speaks with imprisoned former rap mogul Suge Knight, who urged longtime rival Sean Diddy Combs to testify in his ongoing criminal trial. Suge Knight is currently serving a 28-year sentence for a 2015 fatal hit and run. Okay. So it doesn't go into details of why he's saying that. Oh, all right, so it's a video. Okay, so all right, I thought it was just awesome. I'm not gonna play the video right now. But all right, so Suge Knight says, let me see if I can find some quotes from Suge Knight. Suge Knight says Diddy should testify. So I just want to read it. I don't want to play the video. Suge Knight says Diddy should testify. Yeah, I believe Diddy should testify. I want to know the reason why Suge Knight says Diddy should testify. Remember, if he testified, that means he's going to get cross-examined by the prosecutors, and he can get tripped up. He could get tripped up. I don't know if Diddy's defense would allow that and have him put him in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all believe it's a good idea for Diddy to testify in his own defense? Let me see. Diddy, the type to testify in his own trial, says Dynamic Solution. Hit that like button, guys. Anybody new to the channel? Thanks for all the new subs we've been gaining over the past couple of days. All right, let me read this from Vibe.com. They had the article. Let me see. Diddy. All right. All right. Now I'm not going to put that up there. But thank you, everybody new to the channel coming through. We will be back. We would be back at the Diddy trial on Monday at the courthouse. Why would anyone take a proffer agreement? You basically giving them ammunition to come get you later. T. Williams says. Man, I think once you get the proffer agreement, yeah. Some people do take that, though. Some people do take that, T. Williams. All right, the former Death Row CEO previously said he believes Diddy could walk free. So Suge Knight was saying the same thing as that guy on Fox News, that former prosecutor on Fox News. He said he believes Diddy could walk free from this case. And it goes on to say a lengthy list of witnesses have testified so far during Sean Diddy Combs. This is from Vibe.com, guys, Vibe.com. But the defendant noticeably close to, but the defendant noticeably chose to not take the stand at all. Suge Knight has continued to weigh in on how court proceedings are playing out, and he recently doubled down on his surprising take about the case and even suggesting Diddy should testify. Early this week, the Death Row Records executive shared he felt there's a chance his longtime rival could beat the charges. Suge Knight saying Diddy could beat the charges. I feel if he do tell his truth, he really would walk, says Suge Knight. Knight elaborated Thursday, May 30th, in a phone interview from the Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego. Okay. He then discussed a possible strategy the Bad Boy founder could use to help his road to a potential victory. He says if Puffy goes up there and says, hey, I did all the drugs, I wasn't in control of my life at the time or myself, he can humanize his old self and the jury might give him a shot. Okay, what y'all guys got to say? But if they keep him sitting down, it's like he's scared to face the music, Suge Knight added. He should just have his faith in God, put up his pants, and go up there and tell his truth. Suge Knight is currently in prison for an unrelated crime, serving a 28-year sentence for a deadly hit and run in 2015. All right. In the aforementioned conversation from earlier this week, Suge Knight surprised many people with his opinion because of his well-known decades-long beef with the New York City mogul. Puffy and I are not friends, he says. But Puffy should definitely walk free. According to him, Diddy's not the only one who should be taking the blame for all of the alleged crimes. The most important thing is that it was other executives that were involved in Puffy's life. For Puffy to be the only guy that gets on the stand is a sad day for hip-hop. He continued. Okay, Diddy is facing 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He was arrested in New York City on September 16, 2024, and held at MDC Brooklyn without bail. His trial is expected to last all of June and into July. So hit that like button, guys. That was courtesy of Vibe.com, that article. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Let me see. Pathfinder says, just like Suge beat the charges. He's laughing. You're being sarcastic about that, Pathfinder. Hit that like button, guys. Suge Knight got life. Well, I just read he got 28 years. I guess he got 28 years to life. He was sentenced to 28 years. I mean, I'm just reading what Vibe.com said for that hit and run. They said he did. You know, Pathfinder in the building. What up, Pathfinder? What up, Pathfinder? Like I said, guys, this right here.
So the play seems to be maybe admit to a state crime that avoids prison time. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Look, again, you're hearing about all this domestic violence, but all that has nothing to do with what Diddy is charged with. There's a possibility, and I'm saying a very strong possibility right now, that Diddy could walk, that he could be spending 4th of July at home having a barbecue.
Interesting. David Gelman, thank you very much for your analysis today.
So both Suge Knight and that former prosecutor just said, you know, they saying Diddy could walk. Diddy could walk. Now, 97% conviction rate for whatever reasons, plea outs or whatever. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe Diddy is offered another plea deal that he would like, that he likes to his liking. That instead of that 15-year plea deal offer that I heard he had right before the trial, maybe it's something like a year, or 2 years with 1 year with time served, so he had to serve another year, something to that extent. Now my guy Big Super, who is a friend of the channel, he was inside the courtroom the other day. He was saying that he thinks Diddy, from what he heard while he was sitting inside the courtroom, Big Super said that he thinks that Diddy is going to be offered a plea deal with time served and no more time. And that was a few days ago. And now and that was before that prosecutor that y'all just heard on Fox News said that, and before Suge Knight said what he said. But like I said, thank you guys for your birthday wishes and your donation to the Cash App and the Super Chat. Like I said, Bville Lee, thank you for the $100 last night in a birthday wish. I appreciate you, Bville Lee, my guy, Bville Lee. If you're watching, thank you. I highly appreciate you. Let me see. It would be legal suicide for Diddy to testify. Yeah, because he will get cross-examined, right, by the prosecutor, and that could be a bloodbath. T. Williams, that could be a bloodbath. It'll make for good TV. Or well, it's no cameras in there, but it would be high drama if Diddy was to take that stand, because it won't just be him talking. It would be him answering questions from the prosecutors. You know what I'm saying? Also, which would be very, very interesting, actually. Very interesting. Hit that like button, guys. You know what? I'm gonna drop the link if anybody want to come up for a few minutes. If you got any opinion on this, if not, forever hold your peace. Hit that like button. Anybody want to come up and give your opinion on whether Trump would pardon Diddy or not? Or what have y'all been seeing? Did the Diddy defense team have a good day today at trial? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Anybody new to the channel? Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And like I said, we're going to be back live at the Diddy trial on Monday. And maybe we might have a Game 7 Monday night with the Knicks versus the Pacers. If the Knicks can complete the 3-1 comeback and win on Saturday nights in Indiana, we shall see. That it remains to be seen. And we'll see. It'll be nice to have a Game 7 at the Garden in MSG, the world's most famous arena. That would be highly, highly entertaining. But we shall find out if Brunson can lead the team to victory out there in Indiana. They're going to need Karl Anthony Towns, Cat, to help lead in the scoring department and have him be aggressive going to that hole. I like when Cat goes to that hole. You know what I mean? Not just settle for threes, Yeah, guys. So I'll give y'all a few more minutes. If you guys, anybody want to come up, discuss this Diddy trial, let me know. If not, like I said, forever hold your peace. Let me see. It should get him paid for all these interviews. He's doing a lot more talking behind bars than he did when he was free. Hey, it's interesting. Yeah, I'm quite sure he's getting something put on his books. You know what I mean? On his commissary. You know what I'm saying? I'm quite sure. Or something in his accounts for when he does get released. You know what I'm saying? Maybe T. Williams. The question is, will Trump pardon Diddy? Will Trump pardon Diddy? Said that's a stream y'all link. Anybody? I'm gonna give y'all another minute before I break out of here. If not, I'm gonna just break out. Go get me a couple of beers and get me something to eat for the rest of the day. Anybody that's new to the channel, hit that like button. Shout out to all the subscribers, the new subscribers we gained over the past couple of days covering the Diddy trial. We will be live once again from the Diddy trial out there in Lower Manhattan on Monday. Salute Norman. How you doing, Norman? Salute to you. Norman is in the building. Salute Norman. Salute to you, Norman. Is Diddy guilty, Norman? Norman, is Diddy guilty? Is Diddy guilty? Like I said, thank you for your Cash App donations over the past couple of days. And shout out to Rolando G is in the building too, I see. Rolando G is in the building. Salute, Rolando G. Salute to you, Rolando G. Thank you for your birthday wishes, guys. Will Trump pardon Diddy? All right, guys. So hit that like button. Get the likes up. Have not been answering. Have not been following the case, so can't answer that. Okay. So you can't answer that. You don't want to answer that because you have not been paying attention to the Diddy trial, the trial of this century. Norman says. All right, guys. I'm about to break out of here. Hit that like button on your way out. Thank you guys for joining Raze tonight. We will be back live tomorrow. Free Diddy and Lil Durk, says Shorty Blick. All right. Shout out to everybody for watching. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I'm Raze, and I am out.